Hey guys, it's Jem here. Welcome back to my channel after such a long time. Yes, I know it's been a while since I last posted on this channel. I've kind of just been taking a break from, I guess I wouldn't say taking a break from Sims, more like taking a break from just making and editing and recording videos. But today I am back with a brand new speed build, and hopefully I will be here to stay because I'm planning on uploading at least once a week, and I have a ton of ideas for new builds. So if you guys are into it, please like this video, leave a comment on anything you might want to see for future videos, and also subscribe to my channel for more similar videos. Today's build is Miyagi-Do from the TV show Cobra Kai, and oh my gosh guys, I freaking love this show. I mean, I went in watching it, I went in watching it. I started watching this show with like zero expectations of what it would be. I think I saw like that trailer that they show you when you like hover over the thumbnail, and I was like, oh, okay, I mean, that seems interesting. I haven't seen Karate Kid. I mean, I think I might have seen it, but like a long time ago, and I never went back to revisit it. I should actually like watch that now that I'm thinking about it. But basically it's like a continuation of Karate Kid, so it focuses on the characters like kind of all grown up, the main character and his like rival all grown up, and what happens between them, and drama ensues. But I really like the show because it's like enough drama to kind of keep you engaged, but it's not too heavy drama, and there's a lot of good choreographed action scenes in it. So I mean, I'm saying they're good. Maybe if you're like a martial artist or you have taken karate before, you'll just be like, that's totally BS and so fake. Well, I mean, TV always takes like a creative license on real life anyways, right? But I mean, if you know karate and you've seen the show, maybe leave a comment below, let me know what you think about it. Even if you don't know karate, leave a comment below, let me know what you think about the show. And if you haven't watched it, you should definitely give it a shot. It's quite like an easy watch. Like it's very lighthearted. I guess kind of feel good. Like it's not very heavy, it's lighthearted, and there's a lot of like comedic portions to it as well. So definitely give it a shot. But today's build is very garden heavy, so it's very landscaping heavy. And I was just looking at my own old builds a while back, like in my build in my gallery, and by the way, my gallery user EA ID is Geminetic. If you guys are interested in downloading any of the things I build, I will be posting them on there. But I was looking at my gallery and I was just like, wow, it's so shameful. Like I feel so ashamed that I haven't been really landscaping properly. Especially when I first started off, I did not know how to landscape at all. It's one of like the toughest thing in The Sims, like when you're building, I feel, because there's so many like little details that go into it. Well, if I'm being totally honest, I feel like I still don't know how to landscape properly. So this build was really quite a challenge for me. I had to explore a lot of different elements that I usually don't work on. But I think it's a good push because it helps me kind of like play around with different items and tools. But for some reason, I'm always stuck. I'm always stuck with like playing with rocks. It sounds kind of weird, but like if you've seen my previous builds, I made 2 huge builds, one of Bruce Wayne Lake House, and that had so many rocks in the basement. And then I made another Bruce Wayne Manor, which had just like freaking rocks for 2 levels. in the basement again. So I'm always just playing with rocks and using rocks in like the majority of my builds. And this build, I used a lot of rocks in the around the pool area, the little pond slash pool area. And then there's also like that, it's almost like a little gutter or something. That's not the official term. I'm sure it's like something nice and garden related, but there's like a little valley kind of thing where there are like a bunch of rocks aligned. And I actually ended up rearranging those rocks. So you'll see in the end pictures later that the rocks are actually larger on the outside and then smaller on the inside. So I did end up rearranging those. And besides rocks, there's a lot of terrain painting, which I did kind of off camera because terrain painting is more like, it's kind of like more of a quick brush over. So like the camera can get very dizzying to look at when you're switching back and forth and changing different angles. So I did those off camera, but you will see the end results in the final pictures. I really like the look of these platforms in the show, but unfortunately in my build, not all of the platforms are, I guess, usable or playable because they are diagonal. So I'm not able to put any stairs on them connecting each other. So I decided to just leave them open, and I think it kind of looks better that way as well. And also this time I use a tool mod for the very first time. I made that little post where the punching bag, well, it's supposed to be hanging from that post, but I couldn't find like a suitable chain. There is a chain sort of thing in the Snowy Escape pack, but I don't know, it just didn't fit. It was really thick, I think, and it didn't fit the look I was going for. So I ended up just kind of putting the post there as, I guess, a landmark, and then just putting that punching bag there. This build is kind of also shrunken a little bit, as with all of my builds, because the Sims lots are more limiting. So this is on a 40 by 30 lot, and I was thinking of doing maybe building this on 50 by 50, but I kind of changed my mind because 40 by 30 is really common in The Sims. So I was just thinking that people would have more options. If you want to download this, you have more options on where you want to place this lot. And speaking of Snowy Escape, you will need the Snowy Escape pack for this build because a lot of the items are like Japanese cultural influenced. The doors, the windows, and some of the garden decor that I used in the backyard, those are all from the Snowy Escape pack. I mean, it is Mr. Miyagi's home after all, so it does have that Japanese cultural influence to it. Right now, I'm just touching up some landscaping, and as I said before, I had to shrink down the build because there's just not enough space, more so vertically than horizontally, because I think I needed just like maybe 10 more grids. Like if it was like 50 by 30, then the build would fit perfectly. But because I did kind of shrink down the build, so I only put 2 cars there. I know in the show he has like 4 cars lined up there, and he also has like, there's actually a front gate and then like a Miyagi-Do sign, but I just didn't have room to put in there. And you know, I feel like the main points of the build are still in the build, so I think that's fine. And for this build, I actually used custom content. So I say custom content very fast and loose. I created custom content, basically just the picture of Mr. Miyagi and then the karate gi that he has hanging on the wall with the Miyagi-Do logo on it. So those are 2 pieces I created just for this build. You don't need them. They're definitely not necessary to make the build work. And if any case, I think just having Snowy Escape is the primary pack. But for sure, they definitely add to that element that this is Miyagi-Do, because there's a lot of scenes like where Daniel's just kind of standing in front of Mr. Miyagi's picture. So I feel like it might just help, you know, elevate the feeling that this is Mr. Miyagi's dojo. But you don't need them, as I said, and I think I'll be uploading 2 versions, so one with custom content and one without custom content. So if you guys choose to download the version with custom content, you would have to download those files first, so that once you download the lot, those 2 pieces will work in game. But of course, it's not a big deal. They're just 2 items, and they're just like painting items, so even if you download it first, you can just stick them in later, I guess. Another element that made this build really, really custom was the fireplace. So I looked at that fireplace and I was just like, I don't know how to approach this at all. Like, I have never done anything like this. Like, I never had to build anything like this. Usually I just use a pre-made fireplace from the game, but this time the fireplace is like really custom. It's built in part of the wall. So what I ended up doing was using 2 pet doors to create that space. I used 2 pet doors to create that empty space, which is like the opening of the fireplace, and then I used a slab at the bottom to make, I guess, the slab at the bottom. And I use the same slab, and I use a tool mod to kind of turn it vertically so that it's like the back of the fireplace. And then I use some debug logs and coals to sort of pile them together so it looks like there's logs in the fireplace, and then the flame is from a technique I saw people using on YouTube. There's an item in Get Famous that has like an open flame burning, and you put that underneath your fireplace and it will look like there's an open flame there. So that kind of gives you more control on where you want to set your fireplace and where you want the fire to be kind of burning. So that's a really cool technique if you guys are looking into making custom fireplaces. And last but not least, I am building the shrine for Mr. Miyagi, and as you can see, that picture is obviously not from the game, it's custom content. I just kind of use like that technique where you can sort of just put in your own pictures and use the frames from the paintings inside the game. I also kind of combined 2 items to create this quote-unquote floor lamp. I used a wall lamp for like the main structure, and then I used like a table lamp just for the legs to give it an illusion that it's kind of sitting on the floor and that it's not just a wall lamp. Anyways, that's it for this build, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this build. I really enjoyed making it and sort of testing my limits on what I can do for landscaping. And here are the final pictures. They don't really show what the rooms look like in the interior of this set, so I kind of just used my own imagination, I guess, to fill in the blanks. I also ended up changing that window in the back where he's meditating. And here is the final garden view. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Please like and comment on anything you want to see next. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.